Baldoni violate Blake Lively's privacy. The Blake bots are out and they're getting feisty. Plus, we have Kelly Dodd from the Real Housewives of Orange County who is getting dragged after her leaked audio has gone viral on TikTok. Whitney Levitt is headed to Broadway. So much to get into. I hope you guys are ready for it. Let's dive in. This is No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, serve fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. Happy Monday. Happy December. This is it. I woke up this morning, I was like, we're at the tail end, like in a matter of weeks. Let's see how many weeks we have until trial. Like this is, I feel like we're now in trial. Count at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks till trial. 3 months, 14 weeks. This is going to fly by. Can you believe that nearly a year ago, this entire case broke? And now here we are, nearly a year later. And like, boom, 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 boom. I know the Kelly Dodd stuff is crazy. We'll get into the Kelly Dodd of it all. We're also going to talk Stranger Things, okay? We have to get into it, but we'll get into it at the end because there are going to be spoilers. I watched volume 1 of season 5, 4 episodes released on Thanksgiving. Yo, you guys, we must discuss because I have so many thoughts, but we'll discuss it at the end when we talk all about the Millie Bobby Brown stuff, because we're going to get into all of that and the allegations she made against David Harper, because now she's talking about it. She's talking to Deadline. And so lots to get into there. The Blake Lively of it all. The Blake bots are out for, I don't know, they're out for Cocoa Puffs or something. Like they're crazy, twisting themselves into pretzels with this new theory that Justin Baldoni has violated Blake Lively's HIPAA rights because he asked how much she weighed. He asked the trainer. So I was like, oof. Don't worry, the Stranger Things spoilers will come at the end. I'll make sure the Millie Bobby Brown, and Stranger Things stuff is at the end of the episode. So we'll start with Blake. We'll get into Kelly. Also, special shout out to Whitney Levitt. She's just announced that she's going to be playing Roxy Hart in Chicago, out in New York on Broadway. Molly, my friend Molly, I bring up my friends as if you guys like know everybody, but you do know Molly. She already got tickets for opening night, which will be February 2nd. So I actually recently went on a date because I'm like trying to put myself out there and hopefully get some good news stories for disaster daters. But so I went out on a date with this guy and he goes and he watches 30 Broadway shows a year. And I remember when I told him, I was like, oh, and he's like, do you watch musicals or whatever? And I was like, not really. I was like, I think I've seen 3. He's like, 3 this year or 3 ever? And I was like, 3 ever. And he's like, what? And I was like, and one of them was a repeat. I saw Chicago twice. I saw it once when we did a team retreat years ago. I think Candy Burris was in the show at the time. So I saw Chicago then for the first time. That was my first musical. And then I ended up seeing Hamilton with my family a couple years ago. And then this past year, when I was in New York back in February, is when I went to go see Erica in Chicago. Obviously, I wanted to go and support Erica. So I saw it a second time just for Erica Jane. So yeah, but no, I don't know if I can see it a third time. I'm sure Whitney's going to be fabulous in it. I'm sure she's going to do amazingly. Good for her. I support her. But yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to be going for that one. Okay. That said, dun, 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 dun. Oh, I also wanted to give you guys a mention that if today's the last day, it's Cyber Monday. So all of the merch is 30% off right now. If you go to nofiltermerch.com, you just use the code BLACK30 and you'll get 30% off all the merch. That includes the Justice for Justin shirts. Do you think you just fell out of a coconut tree shirts? Here, let me pull up the site so you can see everything that's available right now in the merch shop. If you want to actually, if you are feeling so inclined to do any shopping, you can go into the merch store. We have Never With Teeth shirts, Zack Peter is My Lawyer shirts, 1-800-SO-YUMMY. Do I look like I just fell out of a coconut tree? Justice for Justin. Yeah, Zacktivated, Zack Pack hoodies. So you can go right now, go lock it in, get your savings 30% off. Just be sure to use code Black 30, BLACK 30. And then also you can sign up to become a member of No Filter All Access. If you want to become a member of No Filter All Access, today is the last day to clock in those savings as well. That's also 30% off for 3 months. So you can sign up right now. 30% off 3 months. You get ad-free episodes, a monthly live stream at the beginning of the month, which we do via Zoom. You get exclusive access to content. If you're part of the Zactivated plan, you get bonus episodes. You get book club at the end of each month. So far, we've done Kevin Federline's book, Cheryl Hines' book, and Kamala Harris's book. So you can go and lock in those savings now, 30% off, automatically applied. You don't need a code for Supercast. So if you want to become a member of No Filter All Access, there's a link in the description below. Get your merch, sign up to become a member. Giddy. Just wanted to, Muddy Gray says the hoodies are so cozy. So yeah, there you go. Lock it in if you want to. Today's your last day. Christina said I should up my membership because the price goes back up. Smart idea. Okay. Let's talk about Blake Lively. My oh my. So the Blake bots, they're convinced with this new theory. And their theory is that Blake Lively, her HIPAA rights were violated as a result of Justin Baldoni asking her trainer how much she weighed, which is insanity. One Twitter user wrote, an employer asking a third party for an employee's medical details like their weight could be a violation of HIPAA. It was inappropriate for Baldoni to do. Additionally, if the trainer or Blake Lively felt like how he asked that already inappropriate question was fat shaming, then who the F are you to say otherwise? If he had a back problem and was concerned about performing a lift, he should have gotten a stunt double for himself instead of being inappropriate about it, period. Inappropriate about it or being safe about it, right? He didn't want to carry her big back. He was like, that big back is going to break my back, and he wasn't willing to do it, okay? So the fact that he wanted to prepare himself, like, let's remember what actually happened. He asked how much she weighed so that he knew how much he should lift so that he can prepare himself so that he can lift her big back. Okay? That's the reality. That's what happened. Okay? He was like, listen, that big back may be a little too big for my back to handle. So let me prepare myself. Let me train to do this. Also, as Ariana mentioned in the live chat, a trainer is not a doctor. There are no HIPAA violations here. HIPAA is for the providers, right? And some people are saying, well, technically, no, he's not an insurance provider, but he was an employer, so he does have a duty to keep her medical information private. Right. He's still technically the director, the producer, the boss on set, even though he had no control over her big back. But all right, his job was to keep that information private. Him accessing that information was not a violation. He, as her employer, and as to ensure the safety of people on set, including his main actor, which in this case would have been himself as the lead, it would be crazy that they're even making this a thing about how it's so inappropriate. So inappropriate. Oh my God, he violated her rights. He violated her privacy. Oh my goodness. If you tell a third party any medical details about yourself, do you think it's acceptable for your employer to then ask that person for your medical information? Yes or no? But it's like, first of all, I don't think the trainer, first of all, is not an insurance provider or a medical provider, right? I feel like that would be like you're technically like your own like private business, no? Elisa says, and he asked in private, then she screamed her big back to the world. Yeah, nobody would have known she had such a big back if she didn't go and open her big mouth. Like, if she didn't make such a big deal about her having a big, like, listen, I didn't care about her big back before. Blake Lively's big back was none of my business. And suddenly we all can't stop talking about her big back because she was too heavy to be lifting. Do you think we were going to be talking about that? No, nobody cared if she had a big back or not. Right? If anything, we would have supported her journey to go on Ozempic to lose her big back. And now, Kay Ann Law says, wait, they're saying HIPAA violation for what now? Because he asked how much her big back weighed. Little Miss Sunshine says, I'm in sports and I have to tell my coach and my manager my health updates all the time. Yeah, that's why I'm like, why is this so? But so the trainer, or should we call him the traitor, he's out here trying to be like, I don't. So first of all, he's saying that he never actually trained Baldoni, that was never a thing that he did. It never actually happened. He didn't train her. And that, or sorry, he didn't train Justin Baldoni. He was only a trainer to Blake Lively, and he has since posted stories with Blake Lively over the last 11 months. I believe he's taken down some of his highlights, like his Deadpool highlight that he had on his Instagram account. He's taken that down. So yeah, see, Little Miss Sunshine says, I used to like Don. Don was his name. He was her trainer. And it's his name is Don Saladino. And so I think he's kind of like stepped back a little bit from her, but like I guess he was referred to Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively said, hey, she made the recommendation so that Baldoni could share the trainer with her. And then he says now it feels like Blake Lively used him as kind of like, a pawn, a spy, whatever. I just don't know if that's fat shaming. Like, what did he say that was shaming her for having a big back? That's what I want to know. Like, what specifically did he say to the trainer that made him be like, wow, I need to go and tell Blake Lively that he, is worried about her big back? Which, like, listen, if he's worried about her big back, then, like, that sounds like a safety concern, a health concern that as the boss on the set, you should be able to, ensure everybody's safety. Is he being paid by Blake Lively or her business? Who knows? MC High Life says Justin and Wayfair are not bound by HIPAA, so the Blake bots need to learn how to spell it correctly and do some research. Yes, I agree. It's HIPAA, right? They keep doing HIPPA, but it's double A, not double P. Baby got. Yeah. Holly says he did not have to tell her about the weight question. Gossip isn't professional or ethical. Yeah, the trainer didn't need to tell Blake Lively about that. The trainer, Dawn, was being a messy little queen, and he was like, let me go tell Blake Lively that Justin Baldoni thinks that she has a big back. Probably because he knew that Blake Lively was developing feelings for Justin Baldoni. He's like, let me shut this down so that she doesn't ruin her relationship with Ryan Reynolds. Who knows what his motivation behind this was, but what a little gossipy queen. You go, listen, it's fine to be messy, but look at what your mess did. Your mess blew the hell up. Dawn was being messy AF. Exactly. I just want to know what that conversation was like that ultimately led to Ryan Reynolds then berating Justin Baldoni in front of Taylor Swift and Hugh Jackman. Little Miss Sunshine says Don got a lot of clients through Ryan Reynolds. I think, yeah, well, that's where his loyalty was going to be. Western Burbs Kristen says, I thought we went over this when we did the Biggest Loser documentary. Once you bring in a third-party trainer, you waive HIPAA. Yes. Rumbling said people should consider hiring this trainer. He will tell tales. He will take tales out of your house. Let's pay this little trainer a visit, shall we? Let's check out his Instagram. I believe he made a statement about Blake Lively on Instagram where he was like, oh, Blake, I love you. You're the best as ever. I understand feeling like you need to be loyal to the greater powers at B. And in this case, the greater powers that be would be Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Oh, wow, he's got a lot of followers. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, this is him. Don's got a lot of followers. Let's see how messy Don really is, though. Oh, Spencer Pratt follows him. He talks to Matt Bomer, Sebastian Stan. So he likes being aligned with famous people. Listen, he's a cutie. And he's got some great clients. Look at that. You go, Don. Oh, I don't know if I like his toes, though. He's out here doing workouts. I like Don. Mobility isn't optional. It's a must. Strong is good. Strong plus mobile equals great. Longevity is my strength. You can move with. He has a ton of photos with Blake Lively. Look, he's doing his thing. Oh, is this Don? Is this Don playing Blake Lively? Who is he pretending to be in this? What is this hair? And his bubbies are out. Interesting. I don't know who he's supposed to be. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you, Don. I'm so glad we got to have this moment with you. Anybody, if you want your big back shamed, definitely go and hire Don Saladino. He's ready to out your big back. So there you go. Did you see Blake's post on Instagram half naked over the weekend? I mean, she's always posting these things looking, but yes, she did, right? With her, she was like wearing a towel and she was doing a video to promote her Blake Brown. And people are like, well, if that was the same outfit that you were wearing when Jamie Heath came into your dressing room after you invited him and he knocked and asked if he could come in and then you let him come in, then like, why is the internet the internet can see this, but Jamie Heath can't? Huh. Special KKS says, Zach, I keep seeing men videotaping in locker rooms while men are naked and changing behind them. Just FYI. That was random. Thank you for that fun fact. Kate Ann says the trainer didn't want to get any heat or anything from Blake or Ryan, like Justin obviously is. So he was saving himself and being messy AF. But there was no need for it. Like that's the part that's so crazy to me is there was no need to be part of any of that. Like there was no need to go and stir that up. And there was no need for Ryan Reynolds to then berate. Like if like I want to know what he said. Like that's the context that I feel like at this point matters. Like did he just say, "Hey, so how much does she weigh?" Because then we also have the misrepresentation of her saying that he sent her to a weight loss specialist when we know it was a holistic healer that was going to help her with probiotics because she was on antibiotics and she was breastfeeding. So for and listen, that's a thing, right? You want to make sure you're taking probiotics while you're on antibiotics. That way you're continuing to, especially while breastfeeding, to continue to provide nutrients for your baby and not have the nutrients depleted because antibiotics kills all the bacteria, even the healthy bacteria that's in your body. So it's important to make sure you have a good mix of good bacteria and bad bacteria. So when you're taking antibiotics, it's important that you also replenish with probiotics. So that makes sense. I don't understand this lady. And then there are so many things that she's misrepresented at this point that the fact that all the Blake bots are looking to hone in on any little thing, it's wild. Wild, wild, wild. So we shall see. We shall see. But I guess on that note, should we do a couple of shout outs for this week's sponsors because we live our sponsors and that's why I wanted to give our first shout out to our pals at Nutrafol. Listen, I get it. The holidays can get busy and overwhelming quickly, and thoughtful gifts that encourage slowing down and prioritizing self-care always stand out. With Nutrafol, give the gift of stronger, faster growing hair, an ideal gift for anyone who deserves a little boost of confidence and some science-backed support heading into the new year, right? Ladies, you want some for your man? I've been taking me some Nutrafol, and I feel like my hair's been looking fly, so fly. So fly. It's been a couple months now, and I'm loving Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. This holiday season, Nutrafol is the perfect gift for anyone on your list. Your mom or your aunt going through menopause, a friend who just had a baby and is experiencing some postpartum hair shedding, your hubby or your dad or your daddy who relies on a baseball cap to cover up because maybe he's feeling a little insecure, or even for yourself, because I know that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of holiday shopping for me. Hashtag love yourself, right? Give the gift of confidence this holiday season with Nutrafol, whether you're treating yourself or someone on your list. Visibly healthier, thicker hair is the gift that keeps on giving. Right now, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription plus free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and use the promo code NOFILTER. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code NOFILTER for $10 off. Go and lock in those savings, baby. Lock it in, lock it in. Also, while we're here, I don't know about you, but I like to make sure that whatever gifts that I'm giving, there's intention behind them, right? I'd like to make sure that there's a little bit of thought. I hate giving gift cards. I hate giving something that just feels impersonal. And that's why I'm recommending, if you're like me, I'm recommending Storyworth memoirs for your loved ones this holiday season. It might sound a little intimidating, but it's actually really easy, and I'm pretty sure they're going to love it. It's a gift that they won't see coming, something that makes them feel truly special and lets them know that you care about them. And turns out to kind of be a gift for you too. Each week, Storyworth emails a loved one a memory-provoking question that you choose. Questions like, what were your favorite toys as a child? Or what are you most proud of? All your loved ones need to do is respond to that email with a story. They can either write it over email or record it over the phone for Storyworth to transcribe. It's super easy. No apps or passwords required. It's perfect for even the least tech-savvy relative. So if you have somebody that's in your family that's maybe getting a little older and you want to preserve their memory, after a year, Storyworth compiles your loved one's stories and photos into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book. Photos are printed in vibrant color. It's a treasure that your loved one and you will be able to share and revisit for generations. What's great about Storyworth is that even though they've been around for many years, they're still innovating. And this year, they've added a bunch of new features that make storytelling even easier with personalized questions and a magic editor. Meanwhile, their magic layout and new book designs make finished books, especially photos, look even more beautiful. So give them a try. Go check them out. I mean, I feel like I have a few people on my list that I want to get this for because, like I said, if you have a relative that's getting a little older, this is a great way to preserve it. Like I was just thinking, even like for my grandpa, like getting this so that even my kids down the line can get to know them. I wish I would have had this around for my grandma before she passed away because I would have loved to have shared her and her memory with my kids. But that's something that, now I have an opportunity to do, and you can too with Storyworth. Give your loved ones a unique keepsake that they'll cherish for years. Storyworth Memoirs. Right now, save $10 or more on your holiday sale when you go to storyworth.com/nofilter. That's Storyworth, STORYWORTH, storyworth.com/nofilter to save $10 or more on your order. Okay, shall we talk Kelly Dodd? Whew. Kelly Dog, Kelly Dog, Kelly. Charlene says, "Love you, Zack. How did you do in the turkey trot run?" 49 minutes and 6 seconds. I was good. It was a good 10K. I ran. I was like running up that hill. I was doing it, and I'm gonna do the Santa run too this year. But I did the turkey trot. Whew, I can tell you that the route was super hilly. There were so many hills in that route. So I'm like the first 4 or 5 miles, I was solid. The final mile was killing me. I will tell you that. The final mile was a challenge, but it's good. Like since I haven't been running as much since I stopped going to Orange Theory, um, I feel like my endurance hasn't been as strong. I got speed and I got power, but endurance, something that I'm still working on and trying to build. Christina said, that's a good 10K. I watched my 10K and there were so many people. Yeah. Yeah. Have you watched Stranger Things yet? Yes, we'll talk about that at the end because I do have spoilers. Okay. Let's dive into the Kelly Dodd of it all. So Kelly Dodd made headlines because there was I don't know if it was a voice note or a voicemail that she sent to her daughter, Jolie, one of her friends. And she calls her stupid. She tells her that she's a joke. It's really, really crazy. I don't even know if I want to play it. It was a very mean voice note that she sent to her daughter. Or she sent to her daughter's friend to give to her daughter because I guess Jolie had blocked Kelly Dodd. She's formerly of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Crazy, wild, great reality star, but crazy, wild, wacky. But so apparently Jolie, her daughter, blocked her from everything. So she had no way of, I guess, getting to her directly. So she sent a note to her friend, her 19-year-old friend. And I guess we can play a clip of it. It's just a little crazy. But here, let's shout out to Bravo's everybody who put a compilation, and then we'll go through Kelly's response videos. But here's the first one.
From everything. So I want you to forward this message to her. Okay, you forward this message to her. You just opened up Pandora's box, Julie. I have recordings of you screaming at your dad because he hasn't taken you on vacation. Screaming that he didn't buy you a car. Do you remember those recordings that I saved? I have those, and I'm going to publicly put them out there. Do you understand? For you to do this to me after I bought you a car, paid for your college, paid for your health insurance, took you to the doctors, I bought you all your clothes, housed you, did all that. Meanwhile, your dad was banging some fucking loser and put those 3 kids first before you. I have all of those, okay? So what you just did right now, you're going to look like a fool. You dumb little girl. You're stupid, okay? For even thinking that you're going to win. I have Cameron Talley as my criminal defense attorney, and he is laughing at you. You're a joke, and so is your dad. And for you to even take his side, okay, after what he has done to you since 7th grade is absolutely crazy. I'm sorry that you have mental illness.
That's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And so this is her friend playing that video. And then so Kelly has responded. So here's what Kelly said.
He wants me to talk about what is going on. And I'm going to. And when I do, you guys are going to die when you hear the whole story. It's not right now. I can't right now. But it's going to be shortly. You watch. And you will learn the truth. And you will die because I am going to reveal everything. I get this call from my neighbor, Allison and Reza, who witnessed the whole thing that went down between Jolie and I. On the 4th of July, it was just fresh. Everyone came over, and Reza and Allison told and explained the whole situation that happened between Jolie and I. She calls me. She says, when was that video taken? Was it just now? That video was in July. Okay. That video was that you hear me screaming to Jolie. That was months and months ago. That wasn't just now. So whoever's trying to put that out there or whatever, I have witnesses. Jeff Lewis is the one on his radio show spilled the beans and said what happened because my neighbors, Allison and Reza, told Jeff and Vicky and everybody that else that was here, Patty Stanger, everyone, because it was just fresh. It just happened a couple days before. So I get this call from my neighbor, Allison and Reza, who witnessed the whole thing.
So that's, yeah. And then Jeff Lewis did talk about it on his radio show. Let's play that clip to see what Jeff has, and then we'll discuss because it's a lot.
Look, I don't condone the message. I would, if I was right there sitting next to her, I would have pulled that phone from her because she obviously responded from a place of hurt. My personal take on it, it reminds me of the Tamra Simon situation where I believe there's some parental alienation going on from the father. And this, from what I understand, there was not very much of a close relationship until recently. And I do think that a lot of this is being driven by the father, which is sad. But what caused all of this was there was a fight that I felt Jolie was incredibly, incredibly disrespectful to her mother and actually threw car keys at her face. And I just don't know how I would respond to that. Probably not well.
So I don't know. Even if your daughter throws car keys at your face, I still don't agree with Kelly's approach to this. Her saying, I have an attorney, and the attorney's laughing at you, calling her stupid. Like all of those things to me are just wildly inappropriate. And I don't think there's any excuse for you to behave that way towards your child, especially knowing your child is young and dumb and is going to do young, dumb, stupid stuff. You know, like to me, you're just adding more layers of trauma and hurt and screwing with your kids even more by behaving like this and treating them like this. Like that to me is just, it's not okay. It's not tolerable. It's unacceptable. I know Jeff is now taking heat because he's getting, ripped apart for defending her or trying to defend her. But again, even if, first of all, if your child is acting that wackadoodle and throwing keys at you and being that disrespectful to you, then you need to check yourself as a parent because clearly there was something that you did or didn't do that allowed them to think that this behavior was appropriate, right? Whether you enabled things or allowed too much or you were too coddling or whatever. I don't know. Listen, I'm not a parent. I try to put myself in these situations and think of what I would do with my children, but I don't know. However, I don't think it's ever appropriate to speak to your child that way. I don't think it's ever appropriate. Also, to use their 19-year-old friend to send them this message to. And if the dad is behind the leak of this audio and he's the one that's putting it out there, he's just as wrong and awful in this as well. Like, I hate when parents fight like this. I hate when parents use the kids against each other. I hate when the parent tries to influence the kid to not like the other parent. Like, listen, I've always said, because I watched my cousins go through custody battles and whatnot, and I've always said that if the other parent is so terrible, then your kids will grow up to see how terrible they are. But unfortunately, your kids will have to be disappointed in the process of that, right? Your son, your daughter, like if their dad is a dick or their dad is not present or their dad is not there, then eventually they will grow up to see how present their dad was or wasn't. But it's not your job to tell them that their dad is an asshole or their dad is a dick, because when you do that, eventually they're going to grow up and they may likely resent you for planting those seeds in them rather than just allowing them. Because, like, listen, it may be hard in the teenage years. It may even be challenging in the 20s. But, like, when you look back, I look at myself and I look back and I reflect on things like, I obviously said that my parents had me in high school. So my grandparents took on a large role in raising me. And I remember, rather than having visits with my dad on the weekends, I would often visit with his mom, my grandmother. She passed away in 2021. But so I would often, like, those would be our weekends. And so my brother Sean and I, we would go and we would spend the weekend with her. And there was nothing abnormal about it to us. Like, we just thought that was normal. So, it wasn't until later when I was an adult that my grandma, and we would start to talk and open up about certain things. And she would tell me, she was like, yeah, every time you and your brother would come over for the weekend, I would always call your dad. And I would always tell him that you were here. And in retrospect, I looked back and realized the lack of presence that my father had in my life. We would have fun trips to the zoo every once in a while. We would have fun trips to Disneyland, but like, there wasn't an active presence that he had in my life. And I didn't really reflect on that until I was actually an adult. And I looked back and I was like, no, my grandma filled that role. She took on that responsibility. She didn't have to. That wasn't her responsibility to take on, but she did. And so I think for me, I had to learn, and I've realized that even in talking to my cousins or watching their experiences with their parents in custody battles and stuff, they deconstruct that all on their own when they're ready to have that, awakening, when they're ready to have that experience and realize who their parents are, because you're going to need to be disappointed by them in order for you to really see who they are. And I understand that there are some parents that want to protect their kids from being disappointed at the end of the day. And again, I can only speak to my experience as a child. I don't know what it would be like as a parent, but from what I've seen and from what I've learned and from what I've experienced, I've hopefully will be able to utilize those lessons in my own journey with parenting. But I don't think that I don't like when parents use their kids against each other like this. I think it only is more damaging and only continues to add more layers of trauma. So, oh yeah. Um, SLD says there must be something to this because Rick barely talks to anyone in his family, and Callie has no relationship with her brothers and her mother and her daughter. Yeah, it's interesting, but again, it's just repeated patterns. And at some point, you have to learn how to break that pattern and change that so that your kids and, their kids are not going to experience those same patterns of disconnect. I think that's one thing that my family has always been really good about, is making sure that we're always together. We're always a unit. We don't fight. We don't go years not talking to each other. Like, we are family at the end of the day. Lori says this was a person that one day you loved and they are the parent to your child, and then just start quiet. Okay, I don't know what this says. Sometimes you guys post these comments and you don't even read them, and I'm like, guys, I want to feature your comments, and then I'm like, what? What is you think I'm Helen Keller trying to decode this? Kay says it's made me have a new appreciation for that mother and child relationship. Oh, I'm sure, you know. Um, but yeah, the Kelly Dodd stuff I think is sad and unfortunate, and it is heartbreaking, It's heartbreaking. And I just hopefully Callie can find a way to get out of her own BS, to I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think Kelly doesn't want a relationship with her daughter. I understand that it's a challenging, struggle of a relationship that, she's experiencing in this moment. But I hope at some point she does. I trust that she wants to have a good relationship with Jolie. But also, I understand that there are challenges that come with that and layers of deconstructing that, need to be done within their relationship. But I don't like to see anybody have a difficult relationship with their parent. So we'll see. But let's talk all things Stranger Things. We'll get into Stranger Things. But I did want to give another shout out to another sponsor this week, and that's Kickoff. What up, Kickoff? It's the most wonderful and the most expensive time of the year. Am I right? Between the gift shopping, traveling, holiday parties, it's easy for your credit card balance to grow faster than your credit, right? And if you're feeling the financial pressure, you're not alone. I know I'm already feeling, I'm like, oh, I think I'm spending a little too much because it's like you want to go out and you want to celebrate and you want to buy nice gifts for everybody. And then, the food adds up and the decorations add up. And it's like one thing, oh, especially with all the deals going on. But listen, it's the perfect time to get your credit in shape for the new year. And that's where Kickoff comes in. It's the #1 credit building app in the App Store. Okay. With plans starting at just $5 a month, no hidden fees, no credit checks, Kickoff makes it simple to build credit the right way while you focus on everything else the holidays throw your way, right? It just kind of takes that guesswork out of it. I am somebody that's trying to build my credit. I had a challenging couple of years where my credit suffered a little bit, and now I'm in the process of rebuilding. And I'm just grateful that we have tools like Kickoff to help build credit and build it fast. Am I right? Listen, users with credit under 600 grew an average of 84 points in their first year with on-time payments. With transparent, affordable plans starting at just $5 a month, no hidden fees and zero interest, Kickoff helps you score big when it comes to credit. It's simple. You make on-time payments, credit bureaus see good behavior, and your credit can grow fast. With their premium and ultimate plan, the rent reporting features helps you build your credit with the rent that you already pay. Plus, only positive on-time rent payments get reported to help boost your credit. That's what I like, right? That's what I've been using to build my credit is my rent payments. And I have to say, I'm already seeing the points build and build and build. So start building your credit immediately for just $1 for your first month. You can save right now. You can also set up auto pay so that you never have to worry about missing a payment, but you can sign up in minutes from your phone. No credit check, no hidden fees, no interest. Help your credit survive the holidays with Kickoff for a limited time. Get your first month for free. Just go to Get Kickoff. That's KIKOFF. GetKickoff.com/nofilter today. That's Kickoff without the C. GetKickoff.com/no filter. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/no filter to activate offer. Offer applies to new Kickoff customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Average first year credit score impact of plus 84 points between January 2023 and January 2024 for Kickoff credit account users who started with a score below 600, who paid on time, and who had no delinquencies or collections added to their credit profile during the period. Late payments may negatively impact your credit score. Individual results may vary. All righty, let's see. Let's talk. We talked Baldoni. We talked Whitney Levitt, Kelly Dodd. Let's talk about Millie Bobby Brown, because she's coming out and she is denying these claims. So a couple of weeks ago, there were some reports. I believe the Daily Mail was the first to report it, that there was a case against David Harbour. He formerly, in pop culture world, formerly was married to Lily Allen. I guess he may have stepped out on her. She has a whole new album. She has a song called Pussy Palace, Pussy Palace. And so she talks about how he apparently, or at least those are the pieces we're putting together from her latest album, is that he likely cheated on her. Now, he plays 11. So if you're watching Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown plays the main character. Her name is 11. At one point, she also goes by Jane because that's like her name. But so her name is 11 because there are all these like children of the corn that were like given powers in a factory. And so they all have numbers on them. She's number 11. She ends up escaping. And so the premise of Stranger Things focuses on 11 escaping into the real world and then coming across this group of kids, and they take her in, and she's like, they're ET, and she's like, ET phone home, and they're just like, no, girlfriend, we're going to protect you. And then we find out that there's a whole upside down there's like an underworld upside down, and there's like this portal where you can go back and forth and jump through. It's a whole thing. But so now the cop, there was a cop, his name is Hopper, and he ends up taking in 11. He had a daughter who passed away at one point, so he kind of ends up taking in 11, and this is David Harbour's character, Hopper. And he essentially becomes like her real life dad, like her adoptive father throughout the series. We're now in season 5. It's the final season. It's also been like 10 years since the show has been out. So they, in that father-daughter relationship that they play out on the show, Millie and David, I guess there were rumors that came out that they had a tough relationship and that he was bullying her and he was harassing her and he wasn't very nice to her. And so this report came out in the Daily Mail a couple of weeks ago, and then we saw the premiere of Stranger Things, and they were all huggy and lovey-dovey with each other. And then now Millie Bobby Brown has sat down for an interview with Deadline in promoting season 5 of Stranger Things, and she is saying that that's not true. She's well, actually, here, let's play the clip of Millie Bobby Brown talking to Deadline, and you can hear it from her own mouth.
Of course I felt safe. I mean, we've worked together for 10 years. I feel safe with everyone on that set. You naturally just, you've been doing it for so long. And we also play father and daughter, so naturally you have a closer bond than the rest, because we have had some really intense scenes together, especially in like season 2.
Not a closer bond than that.
No, of course not. Very different, very different. But David and I have a great relationship. We work really closely together in the scenes and in preparing for the scenes, and I really am excited for everyone to see the labor of love and hard work we've put into the closure of our relationship and what that looks like, and to give some of the fans, especially the Hopper and 11 fans, that kind of those scenes that I think are going to be quite impactful. But I love it. It makes me want to bring my A game every single time I see that I'm on the call sheet working with him, because I know he's bringing it right back. So it's pretty, it's definitely sometimes it's a wake-up call. This is a year-long filming, so every scene you go, okay, am I going to give it 150% today? Because I have this huge scene tomorrow, so it's really, and you have to be honest with yourself. I'm not going to sit here and say to you, I would have been exhausted. It's very taxing. So you really have to choose the moments that you are going to lock in, and the moments that you go, okay, this is more emotional today, this is more expositional today, this is more, and you have to map it out. And I do physically. I highlight my pages by color with emotion, and also weekdays, and that helps me pan out what my week looks like and what kind of emotions I have to harness.
Okay. So she says it there. She, she talks to the relationship between Hopper and 11, and it just, it's weird that report even came out in the Daily Mail, and that they said that there were pages and pages of incidents that Millie Bobby Brown felt like she was being harassed by David Harbour. Now, they were not sexual allegations. I believe it was like bullying and that type of harassment. So yeah, I don't know. Christina says, get Zack to 100 likes. But yes, guys, hit the like button. Hit it right now. Also, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet on YouTube. But so, I mean, there you go. She addresses it. She says that she felt safe on set with David Harbour. She said she felt safe on set with everybody on the set of David Harbour. Was it a PR stunt? I don't know, Trent, if it was a PR stunt or not. But it just, whatever it was low budget tea. It was fake news. So she broke her silence. She's saying that that's not real, that didn't happen. She felt completely safe. And so with that, it's all good in the neighborhood. But let's talk about spoilers ahead. Okay, this is the spoiler part. So if you have not watched Stranger Things or you don't want spoilers, we're going to get into it now, because I Okay. If you're still here, then you know that there are spoilers ahead. I'm just saying. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Um, so I saw the first 4 episodes. So there are 3 phases in which season 5 is rolling out. The first 4 episodes came out on Thanksgiving. The next 3 drop on Christmas Day, and then the big grand finale, the series finale, drops on New Year's Eve. So I'm very excited. I'm very anxious. I need to know what happens, but based off of the first 4 episodes. So, like I told you, 11, she escaped from the lab. She goes and finds this group of kids. They take her in. She's like their ET, right? And then over the course of the 4 seasons, we learned that there's a whole underworld. It's like an underground whatever. And so there's this guy, his name is Henry slash Vecna, and he's number 1, right? Because she's number 11. And so there are all these other kids that were part of it. He was number 1. And so number 1 lives in the upside down. That's what it's called. Like this other alternate reality, alternate universe, whatever. He lives in this, and there's like this monster creature, and I don't know, they're all coming to destroy the world. Like they're coming for the world, right? Typical villain coming to end the world or destroy the world or take over. And so the kids and 11 are all trying to stop him from destroying the world. I'm trying to bring this really down to basic layman terms. And so 11 eventually learns about all the different kids in the hospital and how they were being experimented on, and their powers were being used and manipulated, and they were, essentially being used for whatever government science project that they were trying to do. And number 1 escaped and I believe killed most of the other children of the quorum. And so 11 somehow escaped and got to leave. She was one of the strongest ones. He's one of the strongest ones as well, and has been building and working on his powers over, the course of this time. So, Zach, we need a signal for when we can unmute. Well, listen, you're going to have to stay muted. You're going to have to stay muted. I'll tell you when he's done with the Stranger Things talk. Okay, thank you. That was just the recap. There were no spoilers in that. That was just the recap. Now we're going to get into season 5 spoilers. Yes, now you can mute. Season 5 shows, well, I guess the biggest thing to come out of it is that so that's what happened. Sorry. So season 1 with 11, the group of kids, one of their friends ends up going missing and he gets kidnapped. So they're on a search to find him. And then that's when they end up finding 11. And then they realize that Will, their friend, was taken by Vecna, number 1, and he was like feeding off of him, or he was doing something. And there are like some crazy, wild conservative conspiracy theories that it was like some sort of like sexual thing. I don't go down that rabbit hole. So if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, I don't sorry, I'm just not going to entertain those crazy ideas, because also it's like your mindset, like if you're looking at it from that lens, then like you're seeing, like that's what you're looking for and that's what you're seeing. I don't see that. Maybe my mind is a little too naive and innocent, but I kind of just take it at face value. I'm not looking for deeper sexual innuendos, but again, that's just how my brain works. That said, we now learn that when Will was kidnapped by Vecna, Will, I guess now somehow has like he's like the Harry Potter, right? And so Harry Potter and Voldemort, they had that weird relationship where like when Voldemort attacked Harry Potter, there was like a piece of him that was put inside Harry Potter. And so now that seems to be what's happened here. Vecna, when he kidnapped and was using Will to gain power, then somehow there was a part of him that lives on within Will. And so Will has now learned how to harness those powers. So your mind is innocent. I joke. Well, I mean, yeah, special KKS says, ew, there's nothing sexual in Stranger Things. Yeah, like at all. Like there's never been anything sexual in Stranger Things to my recollection. But so anyway, Will has powers. He's gay and he discovers that he's gay. And I guess that's like an empowering moment because he's like, I know who I am and I'm not afraid of who I am and I embrace who I am. And then in acceptance of who he is, he then has his powers. And then he's like, and he can control all the monsters. And so he controls all the monsters that are trying to hurt his friends. And so that's basically how it ends, is Will discovers that he has powers. He comes into those powers because he's gay. And apparently gay is the way, because when you're gay, you're almighty and powerful. And at first we're like, yeah, Will's a bottom, duh. And then now we're like, oh, Will's a power bottom. And he's got magic. And he's like, pew, pew. He's like, ah. And then he saves them and stops them. And then he's like, And so gay is the way. The Baylors are coming for you, Zach. They're Gaylors 2.0. Yeah. And then, yeah, gay is the way you crack down. Like, oh, I mean, that's what we learned. Gay is the way, because then Robin is also gay, right? That's her hair with the little bob. She's the short hair. She's got the bob. And she's like, yeah, I'm gay too. I like lesbians. And so she does her little lesbian thing and he does his little gay thing, and then he becomes powerful. And so now he's going to take on Vecna. And so, I mean, that was, I guess, the biggest revelation we got. The government is and so there was an episode back in season 2, season 3, where 11, it was like this weird wackadoodle episode where 11 finds her sister, number 8. She's like Lilo and Stitch, right? And she's out there finding all the other creatures. And so she finds her other sister of the corn. And so they kind of like have some sort of bond, because that's when number 8 teaches 11 that her powers are harnessed by her emotions. And so because her powers are harnessed by her emotions, when she's angry, that's how she can really get strong. And then she does all the things, right? And she's like, I'm going to take on Vecna. So it was like a weird random episode that focused solely on 11 and her finding her sister and her sister's friends, which I've now learned behind the scenes. I guess that was supposed to be like a backdoor pilot, similar to like Brandy Glanville when she sat down with Sheena Shea on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and that was used as a backdoor pilot to greenlight Vanderpump Rules. Well, that's kind of the situation that we have here. And I guess they were planning on doing a spinoff that was going to center around number 8, or number 8 and her group of friends, something to that effect. But I guess the pilot never got picked up, which happens often. Where they'll do these backdoor pilots where they'll take a series that's already established, test the audience and whether or not they like these other characters, this other story, and see if that's something that they're interested in. So that didn't end up going anywhere. And so people are like, oh, they're going to try to forget that episode. They're going to make us forget that number 8 even exists. Well, we find out that the government is like doing some sort of experiment, and they're trying to like gain control of the underground and the monsters and all these things. And so 11 breaks in because she thinks that's where Vecna and number 1 are, is where the government is hiding something. They have someone that they're hiding. And so 11 ends up breaking into the government facility, only to find out that it wasn't Vecna or number 1 that the government was hiding. They actually had number 8, sister, because that's what she called her, sister. And so she goes in there and she's like, oh, sister. And so she finds out that sister was being experimented on or used by the government. And so now, presumably, 11 is going to save number 8, and then number 8 and number 11 are going to join forces to take on number 1, which is Vecna. And now that Will has gay powers, I think his gay powers are going to be somewhere involved or be beneficial in all of this. But we'll find out with the next 3 episodes that are set to drop on Christmas, and then we have the grand finale on New Year's Eve. But the crazy part is, I think Will may have to die, because remember in Harry Potter how Harry Potter needed to die in order to take out Voldemort? Well, I think because Will is a part of Vecna, Will is going to have to be a sacrifice. And 11 may have to be sacrificed as well. Because then I was going on TikTok, and the Tickety Talk has all the interviews of all the cast members for promotion for season 5 and season 4. And they talk about, they say that the end is really sad, and that the actor Noah, who plays Will, says that the audience will be devastated by the end of it, which I'm just like, oh. And then so apparently we're going to be devastated by the end of the series. And then even 11, Millie Bobby Brown, she says that 11's character, like, she was really sad, and everybody was like sobbing and crying by the end of Stranger Things, by the final table read and filming the final episode. So I think that it's going to be quite disastrous for Hawkins and for all of them. And so I think 11 dies. I think Will may die. I think Joyce may die, the mom played by Winona Ryder. I think it's going to be sad, but I do think we have a sack. I think I think we lose Will, and I think we may lose 11 in the process. I think all the children of the corn die by the end of it, to be honest with you. Because then people are like, well, in Dungeons and Dragons, you need a 20 to get rid of, you need a 20 to destroy number 1. And so 8 plus 11 plus 1, who would now be Will, because he's part of Vecna, those would be the 3 combo that, ultimately destroy Vecna. And then Max, the redheaded girl, I actually think she lives in my building, by the way. I feel like I swear I've seen her around. But so Max, we find out, even though she's in a coma, she's also, her consciousness is secretly alive in the in Vecna's like world that he's created. It's a lot. There are layers to it, but I'm very much looking forward to it and excited. And we also just need to give some credit to 2 other stars. Like we had Erica, the little sister from the last couple of seasons. She really was a breakout and we loved Erica. But now we have 2 other breakouts, and that's Mrs. Wheeler, Mike's mom. You got Zach. No, I think it's going to be the dad, and that's it. What you think? What's going to be the dad? I've seen that theory as well, that Vecna is secretly Will's dad. Like it's going to be a Star Wars Luke, I am your father. I don't know if that's going to be the case, because people are like, oh, well, Joyce probably had a secret affair with Vecna back in the day with Henry, and now that he's become Vecna, I don't know. But we need to give a shout out to number 1, Mrs. Wheeler, because Mrs. Wheeler was chugging wine at home. Okay, So I didn't realize that TikTok calls them the walk-up wheelers, because obviously like Mike is brave and he's like, I'll fight a monster. And then Nancy, his sister, she's brave and she's like, I'll fight a monster. And so they all fight the monsters, the demigorgons, right? And then we learn that Mrs. Wheeler, their mom, Karen Wheeler, I believe is her name. And so when the monster comes to get Holly, the little sister, he's like chasing and trying to get Holly, and the mom's trying to protect Holly, and then they're in the kitchen, and then the demigorgon is right there, and then the mom comes and she's like 2 bottles of wine deep, and she grabs the bottle of wine and she goes and she breaks it, and then she has it, and then she's like, let's go, and then she just starts stabbing it, and she's going at it, and he's like, ah, and she's like, which is crazy, because then later you see the military try to fight the demigorgons, and they couldn't do a damn thing to the demigorgons. But Mrs. Wheeler, she's walk up Wheeler, and she came like, or what? And she had her broken bottle of wine, and she's like, and she was like stabbing it, and then stupid little Holly was just standing there behind her, and it's like, bitch, run! The demigorgon is coming for you. You think your mama's gonna be able to take out the demigorgon? She's doing it so that she can, stop the demigorgon so that you can get away. And Holly didn't get away. Holly just stood there like a dummy, and then obviously the demigorgon goes, he's like, and then he like claws Miss Karen Wheeler, and she's like, oh, and then she falls, and then he goes and he gets stupid Holly, because Holly was a dipshit. And then we get to dipshit Derek, who was the other champion. She's 9, Zach. Well, she should have run. You need to be smart, okay? So shout out, like, respect on Mrs. Wheeler's name, but then respect for dipshit Derek, who is no longer dipshit Derek. Now he's delightful Derek, okay? And he's this, I call him the little Harriet Tubman, because he was helping all the children escape in the Underground Railroad. And so he's this tubby little boy, and he has glasses, and he looks like the boy from Up. And so he, I guess they somehow discovered that Vecna, because he's coming for all the children. For whatever reason, he's like hocus pocus, and he's like, come here, you children. And so he's like Sarah Jessica Parker, and he wants all the children, assuming that he wants to like feed off of the children, right? And so dipshit Derek is one of the one of the kids that Vecna wants. So they discover that, and so all the kids are like coming to band together to save dipshit Derek. And Derek was a dipshit, okay? And he was annoying, and he pissed me off at the beginning because he was like this bratty, obnoxious, loud little kid. And then so they like kidnap him so that they can try to save him. And then he's like, you're kidnappers. And he was so annoying. He's like, help, help. And then the demigorgon comes. Then he realizes, oh shit, they didn't try to kidnap me. They were trying to save me. And so then dipshit Derek clocks in. He clocks in, and he's like, all right, I'm in. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to send your dipshit ass into the military, and you're going to go and you're going to find the other kids, because then the military thinks that they can protect the kids, but they really can't, because they have no idea what they're up against. And so they send dipshit Derek in there to be like a plan. And so dipshit Derek goes and becomes like a cult leader in the military to try and protect the other children. And so that's why I call him little Harriet Tubman, because he a little tubby, but also they have an underground hole that they're then Derek's like, he like has a cult, and he's got all the kids, and he's like, okay. And he's like instructing them, each one, when it's time to go to the bathroom, because he has his little earpiece in, and they're telling him, okay, send us the next one. And so he's helping all the kids escape out of the military, because the demigorgons are going to be coming, and they're going to be coming for all the children, and all the children, the military didn't realize they just concentrated and put all the children in one spot. So the demigorgons just have to come and take up all the kids, So yeah. Shout out to dipshit Derek. And dipshit Derek, because Joyce, Winona Ryder, who's Will's mom, she's like, she's pumping him up and she's like, remember, you are not dipshit Derek, because that was his nickname, was dipshit Derek, because all the kids hated him. And then he's like, I'm delightful Derek. And so he becomes delightful Derek, aka little Harriet Tubman. Yeah, there was no earpiece. It was just no earpiece. It was just a little lunchbox with radio signals. It had a little light and the light would breathe. Joy says, Zach, I ran out of breath listening to you. Did you? Yeah, now he's delightful Derek. But TikTok calls him Diva Derek. And listen, he's a little diva. I like the little Derek. Well, he's not little, but seriously, though, Zach, you need a series of you just reviewing movies and shows and going over them, because your analysis is amazing and hilarious. Thank you. I appreciate that. Positive parenting. Yes, but we need to know how to do good positive parenting and also be firm positive parenting. Dima says, I'm not following the case, but I'm intrigued now. Good. I'm glad. I love Zach switching between Harry Potter and Star Wars so easily, and Hocus Pocus. Are the spoilers over now? Okay, spoilers are over now. Spoilers are over now. We're all good. You're all clear. You are all good. Can I tell people you can unmute now? We're good to go. So those are my thoughts. Zach, your mods have you on mute. Give us a sign. You're good. Here's your sign. Madame Morrible, flip it around. Wicked Witch. Have you guys seen that? That is hilarious. So what's her name? The lady that plays Madame Morrible in Wicked, right? Where she's like, she's doing the tornado and she's like, and then she throws the house on the bitch in the wheelchair. Madame Morrible. Well, the actress that plays Madame Morrible, she's doing all of the press to promote Wicked. And every single interview she does, she's always like, look at Madame Morrible. Flip it around. Wicked Witch. Wicked Witch. Madame Morrible. Wicked Witch. If you go on TikTok, you can see the compilations of it all, and it's great. Madame Morrible. Flip it around. Wicked Witch. Look at Zach throwing gang signs. Imagine people that still have it muted and they're like, what is Zach doing with the gang signs? I wasn't doing gang signs. Madame Morrible was doing gang signs. She's like, Wicked Witch. It's the best. I'm obsessed. And then everybody else is doing the TikTok parodies of it, Madame Morrible, flip it around, Wicked Witch. It's actually quite funny. If you have a minute to look up Madame Morrible, Wicked Witch gang signs on TikTok, I highly recommend you do it, because it's quite the delight. Okay. I think that's Michelle Yeoh. Yeah. And people don't like her because she can't sing. And they're like, this lady can't sing. Yeah. She can't sing. But she can call a tornado. And she can throw up some gang signs. She's gangster like that. Okay. I think that's all I have for you guys. That was everything. Does she cry while she's doing it? No, she doesn't, unfortunately. Dima says, I remember when it was West Side. This was West Side. This is Wicked Witch. West Side. Okay, no, we're not going to do that. What are you making me do real gang signs on here for? The Wicked ladies confirmed their relationship. No, that's not real. That's a fake rumor online. They are not. Ariana Grande still is dating SpongeBob. Bach. Right? They're still together. So no, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, they're just very trauma bonded. But yeah. They're not lovers. I don't think they're lesbians. Wait, that was another deep dive that I went to, aside from Madame Morrible, Wicked Witch. It was Sister Cindy. Do you guys remember Sister Cindy? She was this crazy lady, and since the 80s, she's been going out there and telling you you're going to go to hell, and if you're a hoe, and you're putting things in your butt, and the gays are going to hell, and the hoes, the ladies that have 1 margarita, 2 margarita, 3 margarita, 4 margarita, 5 margaritas. Oh my God, you guys need to discover Sister Cindy. Okay, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna do Sister Cindy right now. Wicked Witch. So Sister Cindy has been on a journey. Okay. There's some codependency with the Wicked ladies. Yeah, it's very creepy. I'm not gonna lie. It's just not it. But so Sister Cindy, you guys, you're in for a real delight, because she has come around and she is no longer talking about how she used to hate the gays, and she used to hate the gays, and she used to hate the hoes. And so now she's evolved, she's changed, she's grown. And so now she talks about her new campaign is to be a hoe no mo. But she said you could be a hoe when you're gay and you can be a hoe when you're straight. And she loves the gays because she is a gay icon. She says, they made me an icon. I'm pretty sure you've seen her. When I play this video for you of Sister Cindy, she's quite the delight. And so her new thing is margarita. She's like, if you give her one margarita, she's gonna open her legs. And she's like Charlie Kirk. And so she goes around to all the colleges and she goes and she talks to them and she tries to help them be a ho no mo. And then she has shirts and buttons, and the shirts and the buttons, they all say ho no mo. And listen, we're here for this journey for Sister Cindy. She went from hating the gays to embracing the gays because they made her an icon.
Margarita and you start to slide. 2 margaritas and you lose your pride. 3 margaritas and you're empty inside. 4 margaritas and your heart's stone cold. 5 margaritas and you've been told. 5 margaritas and you lose your soul.
Oh.
But one day,
Period.
Jesus met the gigaho. In the Gospel of John, chapter 4, the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman. And he made gigaho the proposition of a lifetime.
Period.
He offered her the living water. Yes, 1 living water because Jesus came. 2 living water because a hoe can change.
Period. You go, sister.
3 living water. Break that hoe chain.
Break that hoe chain.
4 living water and the cross gets plain. 5 living water and a hoe's born again.
Period.
5 living water and you slay life's game.
That's right, girlfriend. You tell him. You tell Sister Cindy is my new favorite. Okay, there's more.
Now don't get me wrong. I'm a gay icon.
Period.
If you haven't heard.
That's right.
I had no idea how it happened. Where are my gay friends? Where are my lesbians? Yeah.
Or lesbians.
I don't know how it happened. I faithfully bashed gays for 4 decades.
4 decades.
And they fell in love with me.
That's right.
And they made me an icon.
An icon, Sister Cindy.
And I love the gays back.
Period.
Because the gays have taught us that love is love.
That's right.
Yeah. But lust is lust.
Lust is lust. Write that down.
Yeah. And I love the lesbians.
We love the lesbians.
But not in a lesbian way.
But not in a lesbian way. That's right. She loves the lesbians, but not in a lesbian way. There you go. An icon, a legend. The gays love her, right? And she's like, give me one. You give her 1 margarita and she'll open her legs. And then everyone's like, oh. And then she's gone up to 5 margaritas. And she says, when you give her 5 margaritas, she will peg you. And then everyone's like, oh. Because like, you don't want to get pegged. Love is love. That's right. We all love the lesbians. We love a lesbian. New t-shirt, lesbians. That's right. Love, love, love. Haters gonna hate, but I just love, love, love. So that's Sister Cindy. Maybe we should like do a viral TikTok trend. You learned 2 viral TikTok trends today. You learned Madame Horrible, Wicked Witch, and then you learned Sister Cindy. All right. Well, on that note, to all my gays and lesbians and straights out there, right? We're straight inclusive on this show. We include everybody. So if the straights ever feel like they're not included, you are always included here. ending the show on a note of love. Love is love, but remember, lust is lust. All right. I love you. You remember to go out into the world and be a ho no mo. And hit the like button on your way out. Thank you, Lori. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can listen on Apple Podcasts. You can watch on Spotify. You can stream live on YouTube. So be sure to hit all the likes. Leave reviews if you've been enjoying the show. Excuse me. Leave reviews if you've been enjoying the show. You can give me a follow at Just Plain Zack if you want to keep up with me personally. You can keep up with the show at No Filter with Zack on Instagram. And remember, be a ho, no mo. Russ says, I'm going to stay being a ho. Well, all right. Lust is lust. Ho, no mo. Love is love. The lesbians got to Zack. That's true. That's true. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Ciao for now. Bye.